Nationwide, 20 million single women own homes in the U.S. That's almost 3 million more than single men. Our economics correspondent, Paul Solman, looks at why women are deciding to buy and the unexpected fallout some face.
Paul, welcome to my home.
31-year-old Maya Dantzler just closed on her very first house in Charlotte, North Carolina. She's been living in a very cool apartment in a converted cotton mill, but this is now home.
This is my primary. Look at this, Paul.
A spacious main bedroom.
I have 2 closets.
A sole homeowner.
You see this? Beautiful. I graduated from Emory with my MBA. I'm 2 years out of school. I'm making good money now. And I want to just generate some more wealth.
Dantzler's hardly an outlier. The share of home buyers who are single women has just about doubled since 1981. Last year, there were 20 million of them.
The increase over the last decade has really been for all categories of single women. So that's never married, that's divorced, that's separated. We've seen growth among all of those different components.
Economist Odetta Kushi says young women like Dantzler are often buying homes once they get a degree.
Their income has grown alongside that higher educational attainment, and so they're using it to purchase that first home.
Now, it wasn't until 1974's Equal Credit Opportunity Act that women could reliably even get a mortgage. But now that they can,
the homeownership rate for these women over the last 40 years has surpassed that of single men.
I think a lot of single women really want a place to call their own, and so they're not waiting to get married anymore.
Realtor Maureen Mahood is a single homeowner herself. She says it makes sense that single women outpace single men as home buyers.
We love our home. We want to decorate it. We want to do the things. And men, in some instances, don't want to be that domestic. They want to live in an apartment where everything's taken care of. Maybe they want to invest their money instead of buying a home.
And apartment living can be, well, intrusive.
I was on a 4th floor with someone above me.
Making noise.
Yes. I found out he was a very small man who walked around like he was a very large man.
So last December, Jennifer Nelson bought her own place.
My mortgage, my property tax, and my insurance are like $400 less a month than I was paying just for rent.
Nelson, who lost her husband 6 years ago, is still unpacking in a house that's finally given her a fresh start.
I think it's helped me with like my confidence, and I call myself Jennifer 2.0, my life the second time around and what I'm doing moving forward.
So the fact of owning your own home after your husband passed is a positive emotionally?
Yes, absolutely. For me, it's been very empowering and definitely helped me feel like I'm getting back to like myself and figuring out who I am moving forward.
But for some women homeowners, there's a surprising downside.
Sometimes guys, especially here in the South, feel like having a house or owning a house is what a man does for his presumed wife.
Tiffany Tate made that discovery in her 20s when she went on a date in Charlotte.
I knew pretty quickly he wasn't a match because I mentioned, hey, I think I'm going to start looking at houses. I'm tired of paying rent. You know, I don't have many other financial obligations, so I'm going to start that process and just see what's out there. And I will never forget that he basically said, well, why would you want to buy a house? What would a guy do for you?
Her life has changed since then. Tate's now a divorced single mother. She bought a new house in Winston-Salem for herself and her daughter, from which she runs her own business.
Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday.
She'd be happy to have a partner, but she says too many of the men she's dating are paralyzed by the past.
Sometimes people will just say flat out, like, wow, you do all of this by yourself? Men will say things like, oh, well, you know, I want to be like you when I grow up. And that's a
This is somebody you might be dating?
Yes, yes, it is.
Somebody actually said that
Someone
to you?
actually said that, yes. I want to be like you when I grow up, or, oh, hey, big money, or...
If somebody called you big money?
Yes, it is an immediate ick, immediate turnoff, but yes.
But let's face it, financially independent women can be threatening, says Stephanie O'Connell, author of The Ambition Penalty.
There is a growing body of research that shows that when women outpace men on traditional markers of masculinity, particularly financial markers, wealth, status, income, for example, they face backlash.
That you, John?
Yeah, Marsha, I'm home, dear.
Since men have traditionally been defined as the breadwinners.
A lot of the idea of masculinities is built on the premise of being not like women. And so if women are claiming their access to independence, to power, to wealth, to status, things that homeownership represents, then it is like women are taking something away from men who perceive their identity as being based around that ideal.
Of course, that's not all men. Not Jennifer Nelson's boyfriend, for example.
There's definitely a reason why, obviously, he's stuck around for 2.5 years, because it's been not intimidating enough to run him off. He's also the son of a very confident woman. He's used to being around intelligent, competent, independent women.
I'm going to take out this door and I'm going to turn this into an arch.
As for first-time homeowner Maya Dantzler, her focus is on design, not dates.
If a home is going to stop you from wanting to date me, you probably were never the right person for me anyway.
Because for Dantzler, and lots of other single women, well, it might be nice to have a man around the house, not a man who cares whether or not the house is theirs. For the PBS News Hour, Paul Solman in Charlotte, North Carolina.